Okay, let's jump in. So the singular march of Moore's law, it's really over.
It is.
And high performance computing, especially for something as complex as quantum emulation, is just fracturing. We're seeing whole new architectures emerge.
That's right.
For this deep dive, we're looking at three big contenders. You have the theoretical LoopI architecture, NVIDIA's DGX Spark, and then the heavy hitter, the Quantum Engine 24.
QE24, yeah. From Jefferson Lucas's team at Bare Metal Applied Science.
And our mission today is pretty clear. We need to unpack why the consensus seems to be that QE24 is just fundamentally superior. They're not even calling it hardware.
No, the term they use is a cyber-physical operating environment.
A virtual logical world. So what's the secret sauce?
It really comes down to its hybrid neural configuration. I mean, what's fascinating is they separated the brain from the body, so to speak.
Okay.
The intelligence, so models like Llama 3.2 or Gemini 2.0 flash runs in a totally separate neural core. It's decoupled from the core physics engine.
So the AI isn't just an observer.
Exactly. It's not just crunching results. It can inject semantic reason, human-like logic directly into the mathematical reality of the simulation. That's a huge leap.
That brings up scaling. I saw a term in our notes, headless HPC mode. It sounds like this thing was built from the ground up for massive supercomputer clusters.
Oh, absolutely. They use standard tools,
Yeah.
SLURM for job scheduling, EGL for graphics.
Right.
But the key is that QE24 forces the EGL backend into what's called surfaceless mode.
And what does that mean in practice?
It means it can render that incredibly dense 24-qubit Hilbert space visualization without needing a physical screen. The entire supercomputer becomes one giant quantum factory.
Okay, so if that's the gold standard, let's compare it. The DGX Spark. It's marketed as a personal supercomputer, but it seems to hit a brick wall for this kind of work.
Two fatal flaws, really. First is speed. The memory bandwidth is only 273 gigabytes per second.
Which is a problem.
It's a painful bottleneck when you need to update millions of complex numbers for a high-fidelity state vector.
Yeah.
Just can't keep up.
And the other problem is almost ironic, right? Its big performance claim relies on FP4 precision.
And that's deadly for quantum simulation. Quantum states are incredibly fragile.
So the low precision just destroys the data.
It causes immediate numerical decoherence.
What?
The rounding errors are so severe they essentially shred the quantum state. It's not thermodynamics killing it. It's bad arithmetic. A brutal irony.
So the DGX Spark is too much restrictive hardware. Let's pivot to LoopI, which is almost pure theory. It has a formalism problem.
Exactly. It's based on this older 2002 quibitless research. It uses these rigid triadic states, 0, 1, and this paraconsistent unknown state.
It's an architecture of abstraction.
Right. It's for verifying logic.
Yeah.
The physical reality is all about continuous gradients, probabilities, messiness. LoopI just can't represent that.
Which brings us back to QE24's biggest advantage, infinite coherence.
Yeah. Because it's running in VRAM in a perfect logical world, the virtual qubits are totally immune to the thermodynamic decay, the T2 coherence time that plagues physical hardware like the SpinQ Gemini.
Wait, okay, but if the simulation is perfect, if you remove all the noise, how useful is it for designing things for the real messy world?
That's where the control loop comes in. They actually inject structured chaotic noise with a Lorenz attractor module.
So they add chaos back in on purpose.
They do, but then they stabilize it using a classical PI control loop. It's technology adapted straight from industrial automation, from a factory floor, now being used to stabilize a quantum state. That's cyber-physical quantum control.
And the final piece of this puzzle is the manifold bridge.
This is the real game changer. It completes the cybernetic loop. The neural core, the AI, doesn't just watch. It generates Python scripts, they call them PIE scripts, in real time.
To do what?
To modify the simulation's core parameters, the Hamiltonian, the noise floor. The AI is literally reprogramming the physics of its own reality while it's running.
So the verdict is pretty clear. QE24 beats LoopI by being grounded in physics, and it beats DGX Spark by being a scalable, controllable architecture, not just a restricted tool.
Which leaves a pretty provocative thought for you, the listener. If QE24 really is a digital twin of quantum reality, what does it mean when you can maintain magic states forever? When you can literally pause time to debug an algorithm? If time and entropy just become variables you can control, what limits are even left?